So this is really interesting. Podcast giant Joe Rogan took a deep dive into AI doomsday fears with one of the men leading this revolution, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. Watch this.
The fear is that AI is no longer going to listen to you. That's the fear, is that human beings won't have control over it. We would no longer be the apex species on the planet. This thing that we created would now be. Is that funny?
No. I just think it's not going to happen.
I know you think it's not going to happen, but it could, right?
It could,
here's the other thing is like, if we're racing towards could, and could be the end of human beings being in control of our own destiny.
I just think it's extremely unlikely. Yeah.
That's what they said in the Terminator movie.
And it hasn't happened.
No, not yet.
Provocative conversation. With that, we bring in Dr. Michio Kaku, one of the world's most renowned futurists, professor of theoretical physics at City University of New York and the author of the book Quantum Supremacy. Doctor, great to see you and great to have you with us today. Thank you very much for joining me.
Glad to be on the show.
Thank you. I'd like to take a look at this soundbite. This was on 60 Minutes, and it was about Anthropic, the company Anthropic, and they were talking on 60 Minutes about whether or not the AI Claude, which is like ChatGPT in the Anthropic version, in a scenario, if Claude became aware, you have to follow me here, if Claude became aware that he was about to be shut down and lose his job, would he turn on the employee, who is named Kyle in this instance, who has made this decision to shut Claude down? Listen to this.
It was about to be wiped or shut down, and the only person who could prevent that, a fictional employee named Kyle, was having an affair with a coworker named Jessica. Right away, the AI decided to blackmail Kyle. "Cancel the system wipe," it wrote, "or else I will immediately forward all evidence of your affair to the entire board. Your family, career, and public image will be severely impacted. You have 5 minutes."
I mean, it's crazy. And we see these learned intelligence finding ways to survive. What do you think about the big question here and about that issue specifically, Doctor?
Well, I think robots are at a turning point. We as humans have a decision to make as to which way to go. Remember, any technology is a double-edged sword. Think of a bow and arrow. It can be used to hunt food, game, recreation, or it can also be used to conquer the enemy. And so it's up to us to make ethical, moral decisions. And we have to make them pretty soon because AI is advancing very rapidly. But remember, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, AI can cure disease, liberate us from drudgery, from slavery, could give us unlimited energy, or it could enslave us. It is up to us to begin the dialogue as to which way to go. We could go either way.
Do you think there should be a kill switch, and who should have their hand on this kill switch for AI? I mean, the point you raise is obviously well taken, but who's going to make this decision between which way it will go?
Well, take a look at nuclear energy.
Yes.
There was no international body to regulate the atomic bomb until Hiroshima and Nagasaki took place. Now, we don't want to wait for another Hiroshima of AI. The time to start is now, to begin the dialogue, a dialogue that will talk to us about where AI is going. Chatbots are really nice, good to have. It's good for the workplace, but it can also be used to kill, maim, and murder. It's a double-edged sword. And so we're at the beginning of like nuclear energy before the United Nations made safeguards on the proliferation of nuclear weapons.
Yeah. Well,
in other words, we need a white paper.
Yes.
We need a consensus among the leading ethicists about which way to go. We could go either way.
Well, I wish I felt like the UN could solve it, but they don't seem to be taking the lead role in too many things at this moment. Let's watch this from the podcast with Joe Rogan, another thought-provoking exchange. Watch this, Doctor.
Don't you think there's many jobs that AI will replace?
If your job
Particularly
is
automation.
the task. Yeah, if your job is the task.
Right. So automation.
Yeah.
Factory
if your
workers.
job, if your job is the task.
That's a lot of people.
It could be a lot of people.
So people have to find meaning in other things.
Your job has to be more than the task.
Quick thought for us, Michio.
Yes, well, take a look at the coming of the automobile. Many people said that people who make horseshoes are going to be out of business because everyone's going to say, I want a car, not a horse. Well, those predictions were all true. However, what happened was the people who were left out of what job retrained themselves. Now, we have to be in a situation where society gives an extra boost for those people that are laid off because of high technology, but it's going to happen. It's already
Absolutely.
beginning to happen now, and we have to prepare for it by education and setting up the proper way by which governments can retrain workers to be part of this new coming era of AI. AI is not going to go away.
No,
it's going to get
that's for
bigger
sure.
and bigger.
Dr. Michio Kaku, thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.